Welcome to the 9th episode of Season 1 of the Metallica Re-Remastered series. Today we're going to be taking an in-depth look at the 9th song of Metallica's first album, Kill 'Em All, Seek and Destroy. Written by James Hetfield and Lars Ulrich, Seek and Destroy is the 9th song on Kill 'Em All and has been a live show staple since their very early clubbing days up until today with their arena-filling world tours. And let's head back into the library. Song 0109 is Seek and Destroy. And as you can see, we have a Cliff Burton isolated bass track, one of 3 songs on the 10 Kill 'Em All songs that have an isolated bass track. Also, the remastered, unaltered, and the remastered with enhanced bass. It's worth noting that in my opinion, this is the best Cliff bass line on the album. It is, from start to finish, well planned and well executed. And I mean, obviously, Anesthesia Pulling Teeth is going to be his opus for this album. But if I had to pick just a standard song that had a bass part, I would pick Seek and Destroy's bass line as the bass line of the album. And now our moment of guitar architecture. As always, as you can see here, this little gap in sound is the right rhythm guitar taking a rest with the band. So the rhythm guitar leading the charge the whole time is the guitar in the left channel, and that is representative of the James Hetfield rhythm guitar. So this is a pretty traditional Metallica song in that sense. So as you can see, there's a lot of splits on this Cliff Burton isolated bass track, and that is to combat what's called YouTube compression. YouTube has this algorithm which reduces the size of a video by fractions of a microsecond every time it's viewed, and that causes the Metallica isolated tracks that have been sitting on YouTube for 11 some odd years to warp. Now, they don't go up or down in pitch, but they do lengthen and shorten in time, which makes attaching them to the remaster difficult. So let's just get in there and show you. A lot of splits. In some places it was very hairy, trying to get the bass to be rhythmatically in time with the drums and the guitar on the album. In some places it was just atrocious. But all told, Seek and Destroy has a total of 170 splits across 6 minutes and 50 seconds, which equates to approximately 1 split every 2.41 seconds. Now, yes, there is an isolated bass track from Cliff Burton on this song that we're going to be adding to the actual song itself. But if I do that, give you the bass in all its glory, when we get to the next song, Metal Militia, which doesn't have an isolated bass track, you're going to ask, where's the bass? That's where the enhanced track comes in. It is the same as the remaster, only it's been hit with Kill Bass 1 and Kill Bass 2. So I was able to keep the actual Cliff Burton bass line a little quieter so that, you know, we can still hear it, but we can bring out the bass that's already on the album so we can have the same consistent sound when we get to the next song, Metal Militia. Now, as you can see, based on the automation land, I did very little to automate the Cliff Burton bass part of this song. I altered it in really only 2 locations. And mostly because the bass cuts through the mix pretty well. In some songs, if the bass conflicts with the rhythm guitars, the bass ends up getting buried a little bit. But in this case, most of his stunts pretty much came through, most of his octaves and whatnot. In this particular case, there's a spot in the chorus where he puts on the fuzz wah, and coming off the fuzz wah, when he punches back in or however they did it, there's a loud pop. And when you have the bass up even a little bit, you can hear it a lot. So I kind of brought that pop down 2 decibels. I'll play it for you real quick. Not sure if you heard that, but there's a pop right there, and it's really loud if you have the bass even a little bit louder than what it was on the album. And right here is one of the only, it's probably the only fill that he does that I don't think cut through as loud as it should, so I gave it just a 1 decibel boost from 0 to +1. Here we go. So good. And now we're going to play sections of the song in shorter than 5-second increments to stay within the YouTube Fair Use Act and avoid a copyright claim. And we're going to play it with and without the enhanced and isolated bass tracks. Just the song by itself, the remastered version of the song. Now with the enhanced track. Now with the bass but without the enhanced track.
Alright!
Okay, now all three combined. Listen for Cliff's octaves here, they're really cool. And let's head over towards the end of the song. Alright. And now it's time for the in-album Lifeline segment, brought to you as always by Fresh Produce. No, not the brand, the concept. Eat your fruits and veggies. In this segment I always ask the question, would I trade? If the song I'm working on has an isolated bass track, would I trade it for one that doesn't? And if it doesn't have an isolated bass track, would I trade it for a song that does? Well, with Seek and Destroy being one of only 3 songs to have an isolated bass track of the 10 songs on Kill 'Em All, and with Seek and Destroy being a live show staple that is pretty much every Metallica show you'll ever see, the verdict is I would not trade Seek and Destroy's isolated bass track to get one for one of the 7 songs that don't have one. Alright, episode 9, Seek and Destroy is done. Seek and Destroy Re-Remastered is next, followed by episode 10 for Metal Militia. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is the Metallica Re-Remastered series. Stay tuned for more. If you wish to support the series, please check out the link in the description down below. Thank you. Destroy being a live show staple that is pretty much every Metallica show you'll ever see, I would not trade any songs but